Welcome to Shram Bachshava on the Daf. We're holding in Menachos Daf Nun Aleph. In Amud Beis, the Mishnah tells us that if a Kohen Gadol died and they did not appoint another Kohen Gadol, so then, according to one opinion, the Yorshim, his children, have to pay for the Minchas Chavitim. The Rambam in Hilchos Tamidim Musafim Perek Gimel Halacha Chav Beis, when he brings this, according to one Girsa in the Rambam, he says, so the Yorshim have to bring Yisor and Sholem avur kaparosoi, for the kapara of the Kohen Gadol. A similar lashon is brought down in Rabbeinu Gershom lekamon in Daf Nun Beis. So the Mikdash David in Siman Lamed or his base asks, what do you mean? There's no kapara after Misa. The Kohen Gadol is not here anymore. What does the Rambam mean to say there's a kapara for the Kohen Gadol? So it says in Mikdash David, the obligation of the Kohen Gadol to bring Chavitin is, so to speak, a contract that he did when he became a Kohen Gadol, that he is responsible for all the Chavitim until the next Kohen Gadol is being appointed. And there is a shibud on the nechosim. His properties, his assets are responsible for the Chavitim until the next Kohen Gadol, so the Yorshim have to bring it to fulfill the obligation of their father. And this connects beautifully to the Avnei Nezer in Yerideh Siman Shin Yud Beis. That Siman speaks about Yerusha and Rabbanus and Dayanus, the fact that children can continue the position of their father. And within there, the very long tshuva that Avnei Nezer points out that there's a difference between a child, a son of a king, and a son of a Kohen Gadol. As we saw in the Gemara in Hariyers, there's no Meshicha of Shem and Mishcha on a son of a king unless there's a machlekes. So if a king was nifter, automatically his son becomes king without any Meshicha. But a Kohen Gadol, if a Kohen Gadol is nifter, so in order to appoint the next Kohen Gadol, you must do a Meshicha, even if we're talking about a Kohen Gadol ben Kohen Gadol. Explains the Avnei Nezer. When a king dies, automatically he's not a king. There's no kingdom, there's no Malchus b'yem hamavis. And he brings in the Yerushalmi, Rosh Hashanah, Perek Aleph Aloch Aleph, that says that a king, when David the Melech was running away from his son of Shalom, he did not bring a korban of a king. When a king makes a mistake, he brings a korban. He brought a seiro like a hedrit. Meaning, a melech is only a melech as long as he's operating as a king. Once he's not a king anymore, if he's, for a certain time, he's taking a break, or he's nifter, he died, he's not a king anymore. But a Kohen Gadol, the Kohen Gadol stays with the Kedusha forever. If a Kohen Gadol is choite, they give him malchus, and he brings what it says in the Yerushalmi in Hariyers. It says, "Omar Mano ktiv kineze mishchan Eloi kavalov kivyochol ani b'kedushasi v'aram b'kedushasa." Aaron presents a Kodesh Baruch Hu. The same in the Kedusha of Kodesh Baruch Hu, Chalila is being removed. Also, Aaron and Kohen's Kedusha always stays. Says the Avnei Nezer, when a Kohen Gadol is nifter, he's continuing to do karbonis upstairs in the Shamayim, in the Beis Hamikdash Shamalo. And then he brings our Mishnah. He says when Kohen Gadol dies, the Yorshim have to continue bringing Minchas Chavitim. So he says, what's the pshat? Because the Kohen Gadol continue to operate as a Kohen Gadol even after his ptira. Even when he's not here, there's still operation, he's still there. So he says Yerusha is shaykh only when someone is not here anymore. So his inheritance goes down to the next generation. If you have a melech who dies, automatically goes to his son. But a Kohen Gadol is continuing to operate. So over there, if you want his child to be a Kohen Gadol, you have to appoint him again. So you have to do a new Shemoneh Mishcha. And this is the Chidush of Gadol by Kohen Gadol, that he always remains with the Kedusha. If he's alive or not alive, the Kedusha remains. This daf is learned on Purim. And on Purim, we have a inyan that there was a Chidush, there was Chadash Purim, as the Ramban tells us in Shabbos Daf Peches. Am Yisrael felt that there's a Beis Hamikdash. There's no Nevuah, there's no Urvetumim. So the Chura, there's no more Am Yisrael. The Chidush of Purim is that regardless and without all the Gnitzotzei Kedushin, without all the life appearing in this world of connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu is always with us. The Kedusha always remains. In a similar idea, concept, like we have the Kohen Gadol. Kohen Gadol, even after his ptira, he's still there. Am Yisrael, even after the Golus and the Churban, there's still the Kedusha, they're still alive together with the HaKadosh Baruch Hu, even when you can't see it on the surface. Purim shows that the Hemshech is alive or not so alive. There's always the Kedusha, there's always that connection. Anyone who wants to join or sponsor the Shomach Shava Shurim, please email shomachshava@gmail.com.